Hello, my brothers and sisters. French Fry Warriors present to go over Record of Ragnarok Chapter 104. A fast recap of the previous chapter will start as usual, so if you want to skip the recap, then jump to this time on the screen or click the time code in the description. Last chapter, we got some Loki lore background explaining how he became the most terrifying trickster amongst the gods. The narration tells us it all began because of love. The scene shifts to Valhalla, where women are relaxing and socializing with each other until a certain individual walks near them, causing them to kneel in his presence. This individual was a demigod with a different nature who had blood of the Jotuns within him, and despite that, his power rivaled Odin and Thor, and to no surprise, this individual is revealed to be Loki with a different appearance. All the women comment on his sinister aura and recalled when Loki had no mercy and killed his own giant kin once, highlighting his title for being the most feared and shunned. He turns his attention to some of the Valkyrie sisters together having a picnic and playing. They're all having a good time, throwing fruits at each other, reading and relaxing in each other's company. Yhwach nails Brunhild in the face with a fruit, and she counters by throwing a watermelon back at her. She narrowly dodges it and it heads straight towards Loki. The sisters do try to warn him, but it's all too late, as luckily he catches it with his shape-shifted mouth. All the sisters are terrified once they realize it's Loki, and they all kneel before him, with Brunhild apologizing to Loki while he munches on the melon. Then he spits out the seeds. This unexpected act caused Brunhild to burst out laughing, joking about how funny Loki looked eating the watermelon. Such a reaction shocks Loki, while her sisters think she's screwed. But she goes further, saying that Loki is an amusing person, causing him to get extremely flustered. Baffled at this, Loki walks away with Brunhild apologizing once again, but to everyone's surprise, Loki says it's okay, as he runs off and questions what he is feeling right now. He leaps off the cliff and realizes that he loves Brunhild's smile, and since then, he's became a changed man. From one who was dreaded and shunned to now a trickster. He began to play pranks on other gods such as Forseti and Ares, all for the sake of Brunhild's laugh and smile. One day he runs into Brunhild with Mjolnir in his possession. He grabs her hand and realizes what Loki is carrying. He states she's just borrowing it, as Thor angrily follows the two, and they continue to run off in an attempt to escape his fury. Eventually, they lose him, and Loki wonders how he should apologize to Thor, and for a second, Brunhild asks, doesn't Loki think he's going too far now? Which causes Loki to apologize, but in reality, Brunhilde was just joking, and continues to laugh about how scared she was. All Loki wanted was to keep watching her laugh and smile forever. However, one day, he realized that wish would never come true, upon seeing Brunhild with a man who seems to be Siegfried. This is the first time he's ever seen Brunhild smile with someone like that, and wonders who the hell is this person. Not happy with this, he vows to do something about it. The next scene showed Siegfried, who apparently killed a dragon named Fafnir, Odin's pet dragon. The maids come to feed the beast, but upon seeing its severed head, they scream and run away. Here it was revealed that Loki was shapeshifting as Siegfried in an effort to rid of him so that Brunhild's smile will belong to him alone. Speaking of those two, they are surprised that Odin would invite them to a marriage greeting and are excited to be together. Suddenly, blades are pointed at the two, and they ask Odin what is the meaning of this. Loki elaborates that Siegfried is being charged with the murder of Odin's dragon Fafnir. The two are shocked to hear this news, and state that Odin summoned them for a marriage greeting. The birds explain that it was all a pretext just to lure Siegfried here so he wouldn't run away. One of the maids even announced that she saw Sig doing the deed. Odin asks what Siegfried's intentions are and how will he explain himself here. He denies these claims, with Brunhild supporting him and saying Siegfried would never do that. She also catches a glimpse of Loki smiling. Odin calls Siegfried a disgrace for growing arrogant while he was praised as a hero, and asks him if he understands the consequences of his actions. Odin gets ready to fight with Siegfried until he realizes his primordial treasures are reacting to him. With this new development, he understands that Siegfried is his long-awaited vessel, and then orders for him to be locked away in Tartarus. Siegfried says he didn't do it and yells for Brunhilde, who also yells for Siegfried. This was a cruel trick born from a twisted sense of love. While Brunhilde cries, Loki notes he didn't expect Siegfried to be locked away, but puts no further thought into it as he's happy that Siegfried is now gone. Later on, Loki goes to see Brunhilde, who is looking incredibly depressed and missing Siegfried. He talks about a prank he pulled on Ares recently and notices her looking at a picture of Siegfried. So he offers that he could bring a letter or a gift from her to Siegfried, and Brunhilde coldly replies with a no thank you. This shocks Loki, as to see her innocent smile now faded away. Loki questions why this is happening, as he just wanted to see her smile. He refuses to give up and continues to pull more pranks in an attempt to make her laugh and smile again one day. But no such thing ever happened. Then Brunhilde announced Ragnarok, underlining how willing she is to save Siegfried, even if that means putting her own life at risk. During Ragnarok, Loki and Brunhilde made eye contact after a while, which made him happy, but still, Loki is determined to see her smile. We then get some more insight on Loki and Heracles' discussion before his match, with him stating that he is on the side of righteousness. Loki taunts that idea and tells him just because he does good things doesn't mean he'll always get what he wants. And Heracles counters by asking if that's what Loki believes, then why is his expression so miserable? Afterwards, he rants in his diary that Heracles is wrong. He's miserable because Brunhilde's smile won't return. He states he loves Brunhilde more than anyone else and will murder them all. Back to the battle, we return to Loki being headshotted, with Simo watching from a distance. A rabbit approaches him from behind, and as you might have guessed, it's none other than Loki himself, who states his intent to kill Simo. Could this be the end of Simo, as he is unaware of Loki's presence right now? Or will the greatest sniper be able to see through Loki's scheme and end his devious plot? This month's new chapter starts off with Loki's remaining clones all fading away into a black smoke that returns to Loki's ring. He lays down on the ground with a bullet in his head as Heimdall asks if the match is over now. Humanity is impressed with Simo's bullet power, while the gods are shocked to see Loki was shot when he was winning. Simo, however, doesn't say anything and keeps his aim on Loki's corpse. And to no one's surprise, we see the real Loki behind a tree close to Simo, ready to strike. The Loki that was shot was simply a clone.
What? You don't say. You don't say. You don't say!
After Loki created the original trio clones and multiplied their numbers while in the black smoke, he also created a clone of himself using a technique called Vedrung, or False God Shadow, whichever you prefer. He gives his clone his ring and they both proceed with the plan. After this, the real Loki hit himself on the battlefield and had such a high health stat that not even the audience had seen him. During this, the clone with his ring fought Simo and just died. The narration informs us that in addition to Heimskringla's copy ability, there are 3 more abilities Loki didn't reveal yet. The first is the one we just discussed, Vedrung. Only difference is this clone has equal power to Loki. The second ability is New Hamar, or the Peephole of the 9 worlds, that allows Loki and all his copies to share consciousness and perspective. Finally, the last ability is to transform any of the copies into a gate, allowing Loki to essentially teleport and materialize himself to their position. This is called Enderlifa, or Gate of Resurrection. All these abilities, specifically on this battlefield, were supposed to allow Loki to safely kill Simo. However, Loki made one huge mistake. Simo's abilities far exceeded Loki's expectations. He notes how his whole army and even his copy equal to his own power was wiped out in a single shot. He accepted that he's made a mistake and underestimated the warrior Brunhild specifically picked to kill him. Since the clone wasn't enough, Loki knows he has to do it with his own hands. Simo's last shot is shown to be taking a toll on him, and Loki knows that this is his best chance since Simo won't take his eyes off his clone corpse until it disintegrates. With the body about to fade back into mist, Loki is having trouble coming up with a plan to kill him. He can't teleport to his clone to retrieve the ring since it's dead now, and remember, without the ring, he can only summon 4 clones at once. He desperately tries to think of the best move with his current pieces. Simo is still watching with a crow above him, and then a plan seems to come to Loki. He puts his blade away and says for Brunhild to look, as he'll put his life on the line while placing his hands on the ground. The black mist arises again, and we are told that when one is cornered and pushed to their limits, some are able to achieve unthinkable adaptation instantly. This applies to both gods and humans, and due to this phenomenon, the strongest trickster in Valhalla set the greatest trap of his life, as the black mist envelops him. With Simo still watching, someone approaches from behind, and it appears to be a Heracles clone. The clone rushes Simo and surprises everyone as they realize that Loki is actually still alive. No hesitation, Simo reloads his rifle, sacrifices his spleen, takes aim, and fires. All of this happening in the span of half a second. The Godspeed bullet had hit the heart of the Heracles clone, as Simo had planned, naming this technique Miliki, or Breath of the Spirit. Simo says the number 3 in his Finnish language, and the Heracles clone falls to the ground, and in that instant, 2 more figures jump up from behind him while he's defenseless. The 2 are shown to be Loki and a clone of Thor, both of them going in on Simo, and the gods cheer to see that he's alive. Heimdall states Loki should have been done, but somehow found his way to Simo as they both closed the distance on him. As they approach Simo, a black mist arises from the fallen Heracles' face, revealing it actually to be the real Loki, who states that he will be the one to kill Simo, bringing this chapter to an end with an insane cliffhanger. Damn, fellas, the author got us good today, man. Man, what a way to end it. So, first thing first, Loki is alive. Yay, who could have guessed that? But anyway, how he got close to Simo in the first place is pretty clever, and seeing as how Loki has all these abilities make a lot of sense as to how he's able to play his tricks. I mean, come on, this dude can create a clone equal to his own power, easily putting him in an advantage for a lot of battles. Then he has the ring to further increase numbers, and probably the most overpowered part is they all share a vision and a consciousness off of some pain from Naruto stuff. Basically meaning all sneak attacks are useless as long as one clone is watching from a distance. And finally, he can willingly teleport to any of those clones to either close in on his targets or retreat to safety. I'm telling you, that copy technique is very deadly. People underestimate it. Which brings me to my next point. Some might think Loki's trash or weak, but keep in mind that Simo is literally a direct counter to Loki. That's why Brunhild needed Loki to go, because she knew exactly who to pick, similar to what she did to Heracles. I mean, let's also think about it. Literally every move that Loki had done so far, Simo has beautifully countered with. She knows who she's picking. However, while her pick did work for Heracles, I believe that it will not work against Loki, and I believe Loki will win even more now. Why? Well, because as stated, Loki is literally evolving his skills and putting his life on the line. And usually when a character in Ragnarok is evolving mid-battle, is the one that wins in the end. Plus, to me, he has way too much potential character development to be killed so early here. Simo himself isn't looking too good either, and thanks to Loki's new plan, he already sacrificed his spleen and now has another 2 clones running at him. So he's going to fire 1 or 2 more bullets, which might put him on death's door. Then he still needs 1 more shot to kill the real Loki disguised as Heracles, because we all see that he's still alive. With that, Zemo might have lost his 100% kill rate and now dropped to 99.99% with his missed shot on Loki's heart, which I will admit was pretty clever considering it was a last minute plan and did in fact put his life on the line for a huge risk. Zemo was on fucking crack when he turned around and shot Hera Loki. All in half a second is insane. Yes, I'm Team Loki, but honestly, Zemo scares the shit out of me. He's definitely one I wouldn't be confident taking on. Finally, let's talk about Loki's next plan. So I believe Loki will wait till Zemo disposes of the 2 clones, and while he's feeling the toll of those bullets is when Loki will probably strike and kill him. I still have a feeling Loki has 1 more trick up his sleeve, so I'm excited to see what he will do in the next chapter. Overall, love this chapter, seeing Loki get that anxiety though and learn how to conquer it and just go for it. I also love how Zemo responded so quickly. And let's see if in the next chapter he'll see through Loki's deception. This match will also most likely end after the next chapter, since both fighters are approaching their wits' end. It's crazy to think that all of Zemo's damage was self-inflicted on himself, and this is technically the first actual damage Zemo has gotten on the real Loki. But I digress. That's it for this video. Excited for next month. Let me know your thoughts on the match so far, who you think will win and why. Thank you for watching my videos. You are very much appreciated. I'll catch y'all later. Stay safe out there and be good people. Peace.